I just want to talk about gang stalking and the mass electronic surveillance, harassment, and the torture of these women saying that I'm a commoner. And do you know what I want to protest about these women? Is it's kind of like they went and got a massive makeover, and it's like this is what I was doing in a ward, doing yoga every day, going for jogs every day. This is a true story. I was very active, and I met someone and said he was gonna get me back into housing and work, and suddenly I admitted to him my eyes were ruined, and suddenly they put these girls in public, made her makeover, and both of them were very old looking. The guys spent billions of dollars on their makeover. And I need to prove this about Barbies. They get $1 billion makeover to be beautiful. They started watching me snacking after I got locked up. Basically, illegally, I'm being locked up and I'm not given a voice. I'm actually being tortured that I'm trash from these blondes. It's a very difficult situation for me because it's hard for me to see on the inside. From what I saw, the bees were really torturing me in the Black Hollywood, and I just feel like they're all working in with Barbie anyway. So even if they say that the bees are protecting me, but at the end of the day, I just want to say I was really proactive for work. I'm telling you, I went to the Backpacker Board, APM, I went to Workbridge all the time, I went to Workbridge, I went to CSS Disability, I went to Aspire, Emerge, and Vision West. I went to Salvation Army, I went to the Red Cross. I did a whole lot of applications on Trade Me, and I believe the blondes have been seriously oppressing me when I got sick with serious issues, saying I was a hypochondriac and to not feel empathy for me. But it's all like, but feel empathy for the women, these women groups who are doing a political regime of executing somebody, torturing them as ugly after her face got violated and bullied and destroyed. And I'm very, I'm very cautious of how to talk about this because it's kind of being misconstrued that I'm racist and I'm not. I'm just aware that everybody wants to get to the top. And the thing is this was they're trying to make me own absolutely nothing. They're blocking me going overseas. They're going to keep me on the streets. All the blondes have taken the rights to my intellectual romance work and all of I just got robbed out of my devices recently about the start of my book about my ancestry. And so now the Maori are running a writing group. I've got a book written here through righting the wrongs. And he actually wrote me a letter, this guy, saying that he believes I've got identity theft. And he is the guy that's actually stolen a lot of my knowledge and wrote a book in New Zealand. This Jacinta Ardern stole my book, or whatever her name is. She's not Jacinta Ardern, but it's a girl that's near my ex that's acting like she's the love of his life and a very accomplished woman. And all New Zealand's seen is me sitting in my room not doing anything. And you know why? Because I needed my peace. Because in a world where I'm persecuted and denied and treated like you don't give a fuck about my head, you want to fuck it off, you hate seeing my fucking face, when you see me talking to myself you just want to vomit, or looking at me, it was a total butchering. And I just want to say, why would you stay quiet during that? Why don't you speak up? Just because she's got looks and a bunch of money, just remember where that money, you're all helping this woman stay on top by blindly following these leaders and this comedy. But at the end of the day, they got their money through gangster and money laundering and illegal operations with the police, all sorts of dark stuff, and ongoing persecution in my bedroom and these flights of racism. I've been really sick, and it's really difficult to understand. It's like phantom illnesses. Like for 3 or 4 days I really thought I was going to die just then, as my liver was really bad. So they must just have this kind of poison that comes in and tortures me. And I should have a friend. Nobody should be a minority or marginalised like this. You put me in a war of fascist beauty queens that are in the industry, in fashion industry, in modelling industry, in a housing cartel, and then you've given them businesses and created these walls to barriers for me to be silenced. You're denying me the right to the wealth of my own money by abuse from cops all over the course of years and years. Like, all in Australia, I had really steady jobs and the cops were really abusing my rights. I would just go travel. And now the governments are locking up my passport to travel because they've made this a big war about looks. And I'm saying I want political witness support against this blonde family and these Asians, because at the end of the day I should be free. I don't want to fight anybody, but it's kind of like, if you're going to be kicked out on the street and the whole country's hijacked my whole personality by a members group doing this and sending these dirty tapes of me, which is blackmail and extortion, and then basically stolen my heart work by following me all over the world, and they were chaining up all of our hearts. Anyone I knew, they were chaining me to this person. And unfortunately, it's very scary because the very values I have, they have been hooking into my data, and it's very hard to explain unless you've had identity theft. I think if anybody has identity theft, in your past, can you talk about the trauma of it? Because they really are speaking in a way that is my world, because the data, they are downloading it and recreating this mythology of spirit that I love. And that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, I need access to have a way to fight this BB, because her father's basically in this LA, I'm on the streets, and I want the right to do my whole life, and she's blocking that. So I need somebody to fight America for me, or China, whoever team she's with, because at the end of the day, I'm being locked up because she doesn't want me to get ahead in life. I'll tell you what's not fair is I was just in Australia doing so well, and they put me in a court case. She destroyed me, got into some marriage on a boat, and I was just ruined and put back in a country where I've already been killed, and I'm not going to have the right to my freedom. And I want to have my own networks. She just bought all of my networks, all of my friends, and I've got nothing left. So I'm saying it's toxic, her family, her producer, whatever it is, because they've been torturing me for a lifetime. I mean it. So I've been in Australia with a battered head, and all I've got is this misogynistic fuckface coming to all of my workplaces. Look at this divine, and it's like, get out of my workplace. If you're divine and not a karmic, you wouldn't be invading my workplaces. And then to keep having Fatima going on that I'm a bad person. She's the one still abusing power in my house, like going on about my looks. Why do you care? Why does she care about what I look like? I don't even know her anymore. I just have to deal with her because she's always wherever I go. And at the end of the day, I just want my right to be able to live my life without oppression. These French police officers, which are connected to this Angelina Jolie, are throwing me into the rubbish bin and doing racist segregation. And I got thrown out of a house and basically framed for stealing, and I've got photos and it was really clean. If you look at me before, I'm very, very much feminine, and if you look at my work, it's spiritual and healing. And I thought, oh, maybe I can go to China, because China was like, we don't want any corn kids. We don't want bloody corn kids over in our country, and you can be happy here. I would take up that offer, but what I don't want is to be kept as a prostitute. That's all is stopping me, and this is really bad. You can't just hold a whole person hostage because you've started a genocide. She started a genocide and started this Americanized culture war and all of these talent wars. But why is it that these girls got given the best teachers, the best opportunities, and every time I got into a course, I was being blocked? I actually really got blocked from doing journalism. I got blocked from everything. And you can't tell me a bus going around showing me shitting and saying I'm a piece of shit every day and oppressing me as ugly is fear. When I went overseas to get away from her in Sweden, her people came over and said I was a liar, threw me in a shit bag and got me outcast of that place, and basically made out that my character was a liar, and they just went on and on that I was jealous of the of the white woman, and what else? All I want to know is I had the same intellectual class, but I'm not allowed to. And it's sexism because this producer is making losers like Michaela and Tim Chapman and Terry Voice into stars, and I'm not allowed to just go to work. And I just don't understand why I'm being treated like that. And I want my right to be free because I was doing a lot. How can I be such a good character a year ago and now all this lies on the Silk Road of her news? I'm asking you for help. If you were a woman that was just, say, like a woman like Margot that goes to work every day and you were just doing service for other people, or you're just a woman like, who else is there? Like Sheena going to counselling, doing like volunteering and then going to work. And then suddenly these girls from like these girls from like all these fashion industries are just going on and on and on that they're more beautiful and doing all these dance scenes, and it's like on and on. I've had this narcissistic abuse where my life doesn't matter. Only these girls in the dance industry, the model industry, the housing industry matter. They've cut me off from any electricity. It's all about this company. And I'm saying it's not fair. This is human trafficking. It is against my rights. That is why I need Mercy, because she has really destroyed my reputation by making me a dick of society. Then a Silk Road saying I'm very, very ugly. Well, not ugly, sorry. She's got a Silk Road making out that I'm a very bad person, like stealing and all this kind of stuff. That's what I don't get. And it's like I'm not even allowed to see anybody that cares about me. And that's not right. That is a real abuse of power. That is actually stopping somebody that was doing well. So even if you are leagues ahead of me because of the money poured into you, the little bit of amazing stuff I was doing, making a business on my own, these girls are taking from me. Her in India, it's not fair because I think the West boys were trying to help me get my money back from the Indians, taking it with this art and Reska. It's not fair. You can't have everything. You already just had a talent show with all of Taylor Swift and Gaga, like making her the major star of the world, but she wants everything. She can't even let me start a business. Like, I just came and moved into this property to get help. It's all about her. She's made me trash quality, her and this Manda, and then they're going around having the time of their life. It is an abuse of power. You can't just come into people's lives when they're at home and start these chat talks of trash that I'm a bad character and ugly. How would you feel? And to keep putting me in a river where these girls are skinny, petite lovers and very happy, but I'm a trash bag. And every time I go through tragedy, they take advantage of me, steal my business, and I'm left with nothing. I have a right to be wealthy. I've worked for my education. I have a right to be in public. If you've got shitting videos, if you've got pissing videos, if you've got sex tapes, it should be a crime. I have a right to justice. It shouldn't be about her being a pussy of the land, the biggest pussy of the land. It shouldn't be like that, and it shouldn't be this woman's network of them making out that they're better than me. So I think it's a coward bullshit because they trained about 2 years before they took me out. And they had $2,000 to train on their body. So what I want to fight against is Riska and Kiki. Somebody fight LA for me. Because I want the right to be able to lead my own life. It's not right to just have one person in the world doing their own life. It's not right. Her government or whoever she's with has held me hostage at every job. I shouldn't have to struggle and be in poverty because of her. Like, I've been in poverty all in Australia when I went to work. Her and Ruth kept taking me out at work. Her and her cops. It's abuse.